Welcome back to the Gator Nation Football Podcast Film Review. I'm your host, James DiVirgilio, and all season long, I will be bringing you film reviews of the opponents that Florida plays. I know it's been a long offseason, but we had a glorious week 1 versus Utah. I can't wait to break down this offensive film with you. As always, if you like this content, support the show by following us on social media, listening to the podcast, or even dropping us a dono on Patreon. Now for this particular video, I'm going to go very in depth. I'm going to cover a lot of the concepts that we're going to be seeing all season long. This video will sort of serve as your reference guide throughout the season. Inside zone, wide zone, split zone, all the different concepts that we're going to see Napier use, I focus on in this vid. As we move through the season, I'll select more important plays, more high leverage plays, and I'll select what we essentially are adding as we open up the playbook. But for this one, fasten your seatbelts. I'm going to go through a bunch of stuff in hopes that I can better acquaint you with what Napier did against Utah and what you're going to be seeing hopefully for years to come. Without further ado, let's take a look at the film. First play of the 2022 season for Florida on offense. First play of the season in general for either team, Florida or Utah. If you watched the Napier's offense preparation video on this very channel, then you already know a lot of what you're about to see, but you're going to see Florida doing it here for the first time. And right away, we're going to watch an inside zone run. There's several things I want you to key on with Billy's offense, and I'm going to walk you through this one step at a time. First off, you're going to have a lot of double teams here when you play a zone rushing scheme, and I want you to focus on Ethan White and Richard Gourage here. And they're going to execute a double, and then the entire offensive line is going to move this way. A zone run is trying to push essentially everyone to one side of the field, and the running back then is able to come in on this inside zone and choose a lane of his liking. But we're trying to push everyone here to one side of the field. A feature of Billy's offense is he will threaten the entire field, despite the fact that the zone run is going to the play side, and the play side is this way. He's going to bring a motion receiver here, either on an orbit or a jet. In this case, it's going to be an orbit. And he's also going to allow Anthony Richardson to come out here to the non-play side as well. So you are threatening the entire field, but a zone run is going to have all the linemen going in one direction. All of these linemen here are essentially trying to make sure they turn the defensive linemen toward the sideline and clear them out. They want to essentially run them. It's called a run technique. They want to run them to the sideline. And then Xander's here, his job is to take what's called a rip technique or a rip and push to the middle. So he wants to get inside this defensive end and turn him this way to create the inside zone running lane. Now, how this is going to be done on each play will, of course, differ. There's a million different ways to run inside zone, but it's all going to be basically at the high level that concept. And if we watch the play unfold here you're going to see your double. Here's Gourage and Ethan White, and they're going to make a nice double here. We're going to drive him way out, create a lot of traffic in here. Notice we're turning all of them towards the sideline, doing a really nice job turning these shoulders to the sideline. And then here is Xander's here trying to get inside, pushing him out here with that rip, making sure that he stays towards the middle to create this lane that we want to run through. And then because we have Anthony Richardson coming out here on the zone read, we're holding the linebacker, in this case, the edge defender here on the edge to account for Richardson with our motion coming here as well. Let's watch how this unfolds. Nice job by Florida's offensive line as they did all day long, winning at the point of attack, driving back here, right? Turning them towards this sideline, allowing Naquan Wright to come through this hole. And then a shoestring tackle is made by the unblocked defender. But either way, a nice opening gain for Florida. Florida was successful all day running the football, averaging a whopping 7.5 yards per carry. I was really impressed, and you should be too, with how well Florida executed the zone running scheme. It is not an easy install, and Florida's offensive line picked it up and was very successful all day long. I talked a lot about Anthony Richardson, first starting with his performance against Oklahoma in a bowl game based upon a one touchdown pass he threw there. Then all throughout last year on film review, as well as after the Georgia game when a lot of people thought, can he actually be a quarterback at this level? And I've been unwavering in my belief that Richardson is an elite quarterback and that he processes and possesses what you need essentially to read a defense and get the ball out on time. He's extremely good against zone defense, and that was on display against Utah. Whenever they played zone, he shredded them. Here's a demonstration of this early on. We're going to have Diabate here at linebacker, the Florida transfer who struggled throughout this game. We saw this a lot on film last year. Then we're going to have Florida's new addition here, Ricky Parasol, who we're just going to call Ricky because that just seems like a great one-name basis for him. And he's just going to run a simple dig route here over the middle. Utah's going to drop into zone. Richardson's going to open up with his I key, which we've talked plenty about here. I won't spend too much time on this video today talking about it, but his I key here is reading the safeties, making sure he has zone, confirming what he saw pre-snap. Utah is going to sit in a cover 3. Again, we don't have the all-22 here, so you can't see it, but they're going to be in a cover 3. We're zoning here across the middle, and Diabate's job is to locate Richardson's eyes and make sure he stays in front of Ricky here to make this throw tough. Richardson is going to do what he always does. Back foot hits the ground. He's square. He absolutely has perfect technique. He's driving forward. Ball's out right on time, right into the window to our open receiver here. What you can't see on this screen is that Diabate actually did a 360. He was looking at Richardson. He tried to find Parasol. He turned all the way around and lost himself in coverage rather than just shuffling here to the inside route. Regardless of that, this is what makes Richardson such a good quarterback, despite the fact he hasn't played a lot of football yet. Obviously, he said it was his first win as a starter at Florida. He only really had one start, and that was against Georgia. He does this really, really well. He also throws a great ball. A lot of velocity, generally very accurate, and this is a nice example of that. Florida had success, as you're going to see throughout this film review, in big moments and big plays, especially against Utah's zone defense. Anthony Richardson should be an absolute monster against zone defense this year. It's one of the things he does best. He reads the field, and he reads the entire field very quickly. He has a very, very good feel for that, and a nice completion and a first down for Florida early on in this game. This is almost certainly going to be a scrape exchange here by Utah, where they want their defensive end to come down across the line, aggressively play the running back or whoever takes the ball interiorly, and then Diabate is here, and he should be the edge defender. I can't guarantee that, but based upon what the defensive end does and based upon what Diabate's put on film before at Florida, this is most likely the case. Either way, this is going to wind up being a big run for Richardson because Utah, everyone is stuck here inside the box. Richardson's going to keep this, and there's nobody on the edge. Again, this is not what you want to see, right? If you're a coach here, this is bad. None of the guys here inside the box have any idea that he has the ball. It's also a nice fake by Richardson. We talked about his ability to make these zone reads very, very well. They're very simple for him. If you're a guy who can play quarterback and you can read full defenses and make full field throws against zone, you can certainly read one key defender here on the edge, which is all he has to do. He's going to take this snap and he's going to read first here and make sure this guy is not the shuffle man or his container, and he's going to also read here. And right away he sees he's immediately diving. He sees no exchange here, and he makes that read, keeps the ball, and he is out to the weak side or the non-play side. Of course, as he does here, he's going to take this guy for a ride, not even going to touch him right, not going to pull his flag and flag football, and he's rolling for a big gain and easy first down. This is going to be a problem for teams all year long. The better Florida's zone running ability is, the better this is going to be. It's going to put teams in conflict, and you're going to see it throughout this film review. Here comes another zone run on display. This time, you have a jet sweep. Again, a feature of Billy's offense. We have a jet sweep coming here. We could hand this off to Xavier Henderson, creating a weak side or a non-play side action. We're going to run a zone read to this side. Not a zone read, sorry, a zone run to this side. And now you're going to get a look here at the technique we talked about earlier. So now you have Kingsley and Ethan White. They are trying to rip or push to the middle here. We're ripping here as well, push to the middle here. And now we have Guraj trying to run his defender towards the sideline. So we're ripping towards the middle, rip, create traffic this way, and then we're going to run this way to create our lane right here, which you see. And if you lose, right, you're trying to get like this. This is ideal right here, right? Here's Tarquin. And here's Torrance. They're ideally positioned here. They got inside their defensive linemen. They're pushing them away from the play, which is what we're looking for here. And in this case, once you lose the shoulders, you actually want to run them to the sideline. So if you're unable to keep them bottled up here, which you see, you then want to correctly do what Kingsley's doing here, and you want to run them out just like this, run them out of the hole. That gives your running back a chance to hit this, which you're going to see right there. Really nice moves. Up the sideline goes Naquan Wright for a big and easy gain. Again, Florida dominating early on the line of scrimmage. The zone running scheme really much better than I thought would have been possible for game one. Again, this is a complicated scheme. It generally takes linemen a while to get this down. But to come out in game one against a Utah team that was replacing 6 of their starting front 7 was certainly a benefit for Florida, but they're also a very well-coached team. They're generally not going to give you anything easy. They're not going to make simple mistakes. And Florida was really able to look like a polished offensive line unit, and that's what led to a lot of these big runs. Here comes an outside zone run. This is going to be Montrell Johnson coming around the outside. Now Utah's going to counter this by leaving their linebacker wide. He's going to be responsible for staying outside of the fray here, essentially making sure that if they want to run this wide zone, they have this accounted for on this side. Utah's going to play man-to-man here with one safety you can't see on your screen. They frequently did this throughout the game. I think Florida's game plan was not to challenge that because they liked their advantage here in the box. We're going to follow that throughout the season, but Louisiana's put on film plenty of times with Napier that when he got these looks, if he liked it, he would attack. I think in this game, he liked what he had here, and he stuck with it. We talked a lot about that on the podcast, so if you want more in-depth discussion on the strategy behind that, take a listen there. But for now, we've got an outside zone. Everyone here is going to do a really nice job turning the shoulders right to the sideline. We're all going to push this to the middle. We're creating our lane for our back here on the outside. We've locked everyone up at the free man, so excellent job here by the line. And now it's up to Montrell to beat the one man, which he's going to do. He's going to run him over and then carry on down the field. And unfortunately, right here, he's going to get stripped. And although he's covering up, his arm gets a little loose and outside of his body, which allows for him, as he gets rotated around right there, to just not have a great hold on it. A good strip, and we're off to the races. Now, it should not be slept on here that here comes Richardson, right? He runs a 4.3 something, much faster than this guy. He knows that everyone knows that he's not going to outrun him. And go ahead and go into the kicking net there. Either way, Utah comes up with a big turnover early on. Florida's easily driving. It certainly felt like they were going to score a touchdown there and go up 7-0. And a fumble, of course, can change the course of a game, and it certainly changed the start of this game for Florida. Montrell wants to have that one back, but another good example of a great play by Florida and obviously an unfortunate end to that play. Second down for Florida. Florida saw a lot of looks in this game where, again, I think they could have been more aggressive in the passing game. Florida's going to go empty here. Empty set, no running back. Now, of course, Richardson can still run. That's a luxury that you have being Florida, is you cannot just think as a defense, they're in an empty set. This is Kyle Trask back here. He's not going to run. He's only going to throw. He can run. So you still have to commit numbers to the box. Utah was unwilling and wisely so, to remove another player and put him into pass defense, especially on a second down situation. So instead, they're going to go man-to-man. They're going to go man-to-man and play a single high safety. They're going to shade this safety over here to Henderson's side. We're going to shade him to this side. We feel like this is the more threatening side. Florida goes with Ricky and Henderson. They're two best receivers when it comes to acceleration and speed. And we're going to shade the safety. This is smart by Utah. I like this play by Utah. Don't leave him up here in the center. Put him down here and challenge Florida to throw to these receivers over here, who perhaps if you're Utah you don't believe in. Now in this situation, Florida, the world is their oyster. They can really run anything they want because this safety is going to commit to covering over here. Richardson can easily take this snap, move his eyes here, keep the safety locked down, and work any kind of route combination he wants over here. But on 2nd and 7, Florida is going to elect, as they often did, to be very, very conservative. Instead, running a wide receiver screen into man, hoping that essentially they can take out 2 with 1 blocker here. That's the goal of what Florida's trying to do, is they're trying to get here and give him a lane up the sideline, leaving this man out. Now, of course, that can work, but these short side of the field or screens, they often don't work, especially against good teams that understand the right leverage to take. If this corner goes outside, which he's supposed to do, and he also goes outside the shoulder there, you want to force this man back towards your help defense. This play is not going to go for much, and that is exactly what you see Utah do. Outside shoulder. Take a look here. Outside shoulder towards the outside, and then he's going to try to stay to the outside here. And Florida is going to pick up 2 or 3 yards there. But again, that's the most conservative call you can probably make in that situation if you want to pass. Billy did this throughout the game. Billy's offense, again, is a vertical passing offense by definition. I do not expect to see this continue throughout the year. It's just so much to install in one spring and one fall that you are just very likely looking at a tactical game plan versus a Utah team, again, that was replacing so many starters in their front seven that Florida felt like they could be safe and still score enough points to win the game. This has nothing to do with them trusting Anthony Richardson. Again, I have every reason to believe that they believe Richardson can tear teams up man-to-man, but it is about matchups. And Florida receivers this year, while they are generally solid and consistent, they are not offering a lot of upside. They are not going to put fear into most defensive coordinators, but Richardson, the offensive line, and the run game will. So take your matchup there. I would like to see a little bit more aggression in scenarios like this one. I'm going to want to see that as the year goes on. I'm going to need to see that. But again, for game one, I think this was a tactical game plan basis for a week one install of year one. So I'm going to give that a pass for now. But I wanted to give you an example of how that looked. That happened again throughout the game, not just right there. Early third down here for Florida. Utah is going to come out in a cover 0. Again, it's this early in the game, and they're coming out in a cover 0. There's no safety. I know we can't see the full screen here, but I've got the all-22 pulled up here right next to me, and there is no safety. So we know they're locked up in man, which you can't see. Off your screen is you have Travis Etienne beneath the screen here towards the sideline. He's matched up. Then you have Ricky matched up here with their safety. You also see how much cushion he is giving him because he's afraid, quite frankly. Pre-snap, we have Shorter up here against one of their better corners. He's not afraid. He feels confident again. Shorter's a possession guy. Probably not going to beat you deep. A lot of options here for Richardson. I don't mind what Richardson chose, although, as we learned throughout this game, Florida's offensive line was stellar. But you know what? If you're Richardson, last year you played, the line was not stellar. You were used to DeLance, who's not here anymore, getting beat, and you were thinking you didn't have a lot of time. You're also a little geared up. You're a little nervy. You're a little tight. I think this is good evidence of that. And you're prone to wanting to take the easiest throw, and he premeditates pre-snap against man that he is just going to go here. Now, he has this. Take a look. He keeps his head down, kind of hides behind the line for a second. Maybe I'm running. He's going to pull this linebacker in, which is what he needed to do. Check. He's got it. He's going to hit the back foot on the ground, open up, and be ready to throw. Back foot hits, open up, ready to throw. This is quick game. We have completely turned the hips of the corner. If you are looking towards your sideline, you are not playing defense on a slant route. So this looks great. Everything here looks great, right? And if you're looking towards the sideline and you're getting a slant route on you and there's no safety help, this could be a touchdown, right? This could be a touchdown. Now, he's going to get here and make this tackle. That's Diabate. But again, you see this happen a lot. That can be a touchdown. If you're a corner, that's a bad look, right? Good look for Shorter. He's going to get a one-on-one win here for watching film on Sunday with him. Great job, Shorter. Way to turn him around. Good footwork here, Richardson. Way to go. And he's just too geeked up right now. He's just too excited, right? He fires this ball. It's too hard. It's too low. It's uncatchable. It bounces over here. He's just a little bit too hyped. That's a throw he makes in his sleep. We've seen him make it a lot. Off the screen, which you couldn't see here, was that Ricky right here is wide open as well. So that's a check mark for us on a hitch. The safety just kept backpedaling. On the bottom of the screen, Naquan Wright ran a slant and go and had a touchdown. That's good. Now look, when you get man-to-man and it's cover 0, pre-snap, you're just going to pick your matchup and you're going to go with it. This is not a situation where you're going to wind up saying, read the slant, read the hitch, read the touchdown. You're going to take your matchup. But part of as the season goes on is we're going to learn about who can win and who's solid. And Etienne, obviously a true freshman, perhaps he's a great route runner. He was on this play. I wish I could show it to you. I mean, he absolutely torched his defender over here, and that would have been an easy 6. We know already that even start of the year, a safety's not going to want to guard Ricky, right? Pearsall, that's going to be a bad matchup for him. That's good. And then Shorter here is turning their best corner, turning him totally around. He's gone. Good. This is good. So the receivers have obviously caught, maybe, I don't want to say heat, but not a lot of love here for Florida early on. But early in this game, this season, this is nice. This is what you want to see. There are targets to go to. Richardson just misses this on a good third down conversion, but that's okay. You'd much rather have a scenario where the throw is just not perfect, especially because you're hyped up, than other situations. But this is a good play for me. You have 3 guys that are open. You have 3 easy conversions. 1 is a touchdown. This one could have been a bigger play. Everything looks good there, just a miss on the throw. Something that was easy to miss in this game was how successful Florida was when they had a long way to go. This is 2nd and 15. And Utah is now going to play zone, so they're not going to play man. They're going to play zone. They're going to play cover 3. We're going to fall back here in our cover 3. This is going to wind up being a layup for Richardson. He already knows what he's seen. Take the snap. Again, quick eye idea, the safety. He's not looking at his target just yet. He's looking here. That's really good quarterbacking. Let's not direct where we're going to go. Confirm your read. Yes, it's cover 3. Drive down and throw a rope right here to Xavier Henderson. You can see how hard this ball is coming is that I can, in slow motion here, it gets right on Henderson, right on the face mask. Defender's not close yet. That actually gives Henderson a chance to make a move, and this is just so good. Again, I don't want to take this throw and have you just think, oh, that's easy. That is a high-level throw. It's a reason why he's going to be a first-round pick, is you can put the ball on someone's face mask with that kind of velocity. You give your receiver a chance to make a play here. He's not going to wind up doing a whole lot with that, but he does give him a chance. It's an extra 3 or 4 yards after the play on 2nd and 15, setting up a 3rd and short. Easy play. Cover 3, layup. Good route combination by Napier. Good play call. Easy money. I think this play is another example of AR being just a little bit keyed up still early in the game. We're still in the first quarter. Florida's going to run a mesh. I love the mesh concept. If you've seen this channel before, I'm a big fan of the mesh. And this is going to be what I'm going to call a sneakier mesh because you can't see off the screen here Florida's wide receiver who's going to wind up running this mesh with a tight end. And you're going to see it. Here we go, right here. Right here comes Xavier Henderson. It's a very long, delayed mesh. And this is going to be essentially your check down. This is a nice way to get your check down here. He's going to read out down the field first, which he does. There is nothing there that is worth throwing to. I can confirm, although you can't see it here. I can confirm on the All-22. Nothing there to throw to. This is the target, though, he should hit. Take a look at Xavier. Xavier is wide open. In fact, there's nobody within 10 yards of him here. There is no linebacker waiting for him. This is a busted coverage by Utah. Their middle linebacker had rotated too far back and left this space. But unfortunately for Richardson, and again, I think this is going to be a product of what we see throughout this year, is this offensive line is good, right? Richardson is going to trust them more and more. And the more he watches film, he's going to say, hey, I don't have to bail. And he does not do this often. He's standing tall. Look at his head. Look at his helmet. Just watch his helmet here, right? Read. Okay, I got nothing. He read him right here. He read Zipper. Zipper is gone. And he should have now gone one more right here. But in his head, he's thinking, I'm going to get attacked. Right? But he's not. We've got Guraj putting a man on the ground, right? There he goes. He's gone. Okay. We've got Ethan White locking up in here. Kingsley's locked up in here. We've got Torrance, who's an absolute wall, just handling somebody, with Tarkin just waiting. He has got all he needs in this pocket. Now, he is going to escape himself into trouble, right? Now, if you're an O-lineman, you just hate this because you're thinking, hey, look, I have literally given you everything you want in life, and you're going to make me look bad because now it's going to be like just a quarterback pressure. But all he has to do here is make this one last read right here. This is going to be an easy first down, and in fact, probably a 10 or 15-yard pickup to your best athlete. He'll see this. He'll learn from it. He'll trust this O-line. Again, it's the first quarter. Keep in mind what he's experienced here in his 2 years at UF. So here is a stiff arm. He's going to bail himself out of trouble, and then he's going to take off, and oh, look at that. We still get the first down, right? So a much easier path was there. A great coaching point here. Hey, A-Rich, great job. I'm really glad you got that first down. But look, the reality is read that play all the way out. Right? We don't need you to be having to make a hero play like that for 4 yards when you could have dumped that ball off and picked up 10. Either way, he bails himself out of a bad decision, picks up a first down, and this week in the film room learns, hey, next time I'm going to do something different. On 2nd and 7 here at midfield, Florida's going to take a shot. We talked a lot about Billy's ability to run play action from the pistol. Here's your pistol set. I like the pistol set a lot, especially in college football, because it allows you to still run a typical play action play as if you were in I formation, but you're not in I formation, which just makes the play better, in my opinion, at this level, especially with a dynamic athlete like Richardson. He never has to take his eyes off the field. It's an easier read for him. And what Florida's going to do is they're going to send Frazier's here on basically a deep crosser, and we're going to send Xavier Henderson on an out and up. Now, unfortunately for this play, and this is good defense by Utah, their safety is going to just stay with Henderson to the high side. And this out route, deep out route, is actually open. Now, you can make these choice routes, right? And in fact, down the road, I think it's very likely and very probable that that's exactly what Billy Napier is going to do, is add in more option routes. In fact, on this play, if you had an option route, Xavier Henderson takes the out route, and that's going to be a big gain right here. Or even better, you almost certainly would have had Frazier's taking this deep over and snapping it to the corner as soon as he watched the safety just straight bail to Henderson's side. It's very simple for Frazier to do that. That's you're obviously running yourself into trouble. You go here, that's a touchdown. And again, I do think Florida's going to build these things in. It's week 1 install. I think by week 5, 6, 7, you're going to see that kind of stuff happening. That's an easy throw for Richardson, and if this O-line gives him time, those will be touchdowns. So Florida taking a shot's not going to work out, but I want to talk about why I like this. Here's our play action. We're going to hold these linebackers here. Hold them. Okay, now they're going to read. He's keeping it. I'm coming in hot, right? They're going to start sending guys at Richardson through the gap. It's one way to defend a running quarterback. Richardson now is opening up as he always does. Great presence, great footwork, feels the pressure. Now here's the question. If you're asking why doesn't he roll this way, the answer is he does not have a single passing target on that side of the field. In fact, at this point in time right now, he's going to wind up having Frazier's come here. He's going to have Henderson over here. He's got his check down Whittemore here. If he rolls out here, of course, he could escape and attempt to make something happen on his own with his legs, but this is not a great situation, right? Again, this is not a great situation. Utah, this is why you stay home, by the way. This is why you stay home as a defensive end, because if he's going rogue over here, then he does escape out here. It's a touchdown. But in this case, Richardson is trying to keep the play alive to the play side. So rather than slide here, which he would have for sure had he had targets, he's going to rotate out the play side and try to keep this alive, which he does. We get a phenomenal block by Naquan Wright. I talked about this on the podcast. The running backs did a great job blocking in this game. Look at this. Drive him down to the ground, get a pancake. And meanwhile, the O-line is just an absolute wall. I mean, look at these guys. What a unit right here. It's so exciting to see this after year after year after year of just talking about what a sieve this unit was. This is something here against Utah. I mean, that is a pocket, ladies and gentlemen. That's great stuff. So Richardson's going to escape out to the right. At this point in time, he doesn't really have anything. The check down's gone. Frazier's is double covered. So is, at this point in time, Henderson with his safety up top. You can't see it. And the defender underneath, which you're going to see. Now, Richardson, if he's able to drive down this throw, he sets up quick here. And notice his finish. He's going to finish leaning back. He's unable to drive through that ball. He has obviously a huge arm, and this is proven by the fact that he can throw a ball leaning back like this and still get this there, right? If he was able to drive down and this ball goes here, it's probably a touchdown. So he escapes to the right. He keeps the play alive. He gives his receiver, here Henderson, a chance when he's got two DBs chasing and trail. This is important. They're chasing and trail. They're not looking at the ball. They could commit a pass interference. Xavier Henderson will make a play here. And instead, it's a nice play by Utah. But I like this. Give your receiver a chance. And again, with Richardson's arm, if he's able to drive through that throw, this ball comes up here and it's probably a touchdown. So that's an incompletion I do not mind at all. And if we don't lose a little bit of contain there on the edge, which is really just a good play call by Utah to make sure they send their linebacker into the space that Richardson might want to go to. So credit Utah there for being ready for this play, being on top of it, and sending pressure into the right area. But also a nice job by Richardson to take what he had there, extend the play, and give it a chance. All right, 3rd and 15 here. 7-0 Utah in the first quarter. This felt like a big moment early in the game. And this is, again, a display of how good, in my opinion, of a quarterback Richardson is, especially against zone defense. I think every coordinator that he faces is going to see this on film time and time again. Florida going to stay here with 4 wide, so we're 2 by 2. We're symmetrical here. We're symmetrical at the bottom. We're going to run the same routes basically on either side. And we're going to keep our running back here, Montrell, as a check down. All right, so that's what's going on. Now, what I want you to watch here, and you're going to see the top of your screen, is 2 things. One, the safeties are going to invert this cover 2. They're going to come down, and they're going to play essentially the sticks, and they're going to try to keep the middle, right, not available. So they're going to try to chuck the receiver into what they're going to create here, which is a triangle. And this triangle is going to be formed by the corner bailing to safety, by the inside slot defender here bailing to the corner, and the safety coming down. So they're going to invert this. They're going to create a triangle on top of this, and they're going to try to keep the play in this area. Florida's goal is to try to get to the weakness of the cover 2, which is the middle. It's exactly the route they're running. But there's some magic here in how Ricky runs this route, and I want to show you. Ricky right now, like any good receiver, and you're going to lose contact a little bit with the safety off your screen here, but he is going to recognize that the safety has now come down and the corner has bailed. And because of that, he knows his job is to get around him. And as we come off the screen here, he is going to widen his route. He's widening himself out. The same thing does not happen at the bottom of your screen here. It just does not happen to the same degree. He's going to get taken out of the play, whereas Ricky is not. Richardson, now look at his eyes. He's not looking at Ricky. What is he doing? He's IDing the safeties. Yes, they're in cover 2. Yes, the middle of the field is what I want. Yes, I'm going to look for Ricky, my best slot receiver coming into it. I'm going to plant my foot, and I'm going to get ready to throw. Step up, foot plant, step up. Look at this pocket. Look at this pocket, right? Beautiful pocket. Tarquin's going to lose a little bit here, but we got plenty of time. And now off your screen, what you can't see is that because Ricky has taken his route, and instead of just doing this, he's done this. He now is going to shimmy away from this shove, shimmy away from that, and then allow him to keep his speed up, which allows him to run right into this window. Here it is, right there, into the triangle. Now you can see this triangle is not like they wanted it to be, in large part because he had to chase the bend. He whiffed a little bit on his touch or his redirect into the triangle. That allows Ricky to then slide here. And this ball is a perfectly thrown ball. Tons of velocity, right on time, hits him right in the face mask. Great throw. We're off and running. Big completion on 3rd and 15 against Utah's zone defense. Again, I can't say enough about how good that is. And remind yourself, Richardson has not played a lot of football at the college level. That is an excellent, excellent play. All right, Billy Napier is going to show a lot of jet sweeps and a lot of orbit motions, and if you show them, you got to use them. Here's a redshirt freshman for Florida, Dejon Reynolds. He's going to get this little toss. Here's the snap. There's the toss, snap, toss. He's coming out the back end here. Now Florida's job again is we're going to threaten. Take a look. Beautiful. Look, the run plays here are well designed. If you're a Florida fan, you're going to have to get used to enjoying some of these run plays. It's different, obviously, than enjoying all the pass plays. Those will come. Don't worry. You know I love passing the ball the most, but this is good stuff. Every single lineman working in unison here. This is where it looks like the play is going to go. If you're a defensive lineman, all you're thinking is, I cannot let these guys turn me and run me out of this window. And instead, we're going to quickly hit him out the backside with this. There it is. And we have done our job. These guys are all out of the play, right? Because we're an effective zone running team. They are all gone now. Here's Diabate. Look at Diabate's head. This is what I'm talking about, Diabate. Talked about it last year. I don't pick on the guy too much, but here's this guy. He sees it. Diabate is locked in. I mean, he's going to make a tackle. Look at him. Look at him. He's And look, Florida's linebackers do the same thing. So we're going to talk about that on the defensive side if you haven't watched that breakdown yet. Now they've gotten better this year, but we've seen this on film for years for Florida. So that is not what you want to be seeing. Diabate, of course, I think with Utah's coaching will improve. As you can tell, the rest of their players tend to be pretty good at ID recognition. They sent 2 guys to the NFL last year, and that's one big reason that they were not as good this year, is they were missing 2 studs at linebacker. Regardless, we're coming out the weak side or the non-play side here, and our job is to get this block right here. We're going to run him to the sideline, drive him out of our lane so we have a window. Great job here. Let's get a check on that block. Excellent work. Let's run him out and put him down, right? Really nice work there. Put him down, pick up some yards, make a move, make 2 guys miss, make 3, and pick up 5 or 6 yards with a simple, basically a handoff, right? But also let the defense know, hey, we're not just going to go where the offensive line is going. That's not always going to happen. You're going to have to defend the entire field all the time. So nice display there from Florida. Very next play, Florida again is going to send Dejon Reynolds on this jet sweep. They just gave him the little pop pass. They're going to snap it this time when he's passed. But take a look at what happens. And Richardson knows this. He does not get a follower. We have no follower, which means now we are 2v1. 2v1, right? If we can execute a block here, this could be a big play, leaving Reynolds one-on-one with the safety. Richardson knows it. He feels it. We're still early in the first quarter. We're still down 7, and he just wants to get this ball to him as quickly as he can because the faster he gets it to him, the more space he has. Unfortunately, and again, good job from Utah here. I want to focus on this. If he goes inside here, this is death. He doesn't. He reads this and he gets to the outside. Watch him. Get to the outside. That has got to happen. Good coaching by Utah. Regardless, if this ball is thrown, that should be. It's just too far. If he hits him right here, right, he's coming up this lane and he is one-on-one. He's one-on-one versus safety. You want that all day long in college football or in the NFL. This is an easy play. Florida wants this one back. Instead, can't quite come up with it, and it winds up being an incompletion on 2nd and 5. But again, a nice play call. And why does this work really well? It works really well because take a look here. Look at where we're all going. We're all going this way with the zone blocking, and now we're working the weak side. So again, Billy Napier has a really good understanding of how to work the entire field. It's very hard on defenses. It's especially hard when you've got 15 standing back there, and he can be an X factor. Now, Florida won't just run zone runs. They'll also still run power, and a run play that was just so frustrating for Florida fans last year was the counter run, specifically the guard tackle. But in this case, we're going to run a guard H-back counter. This is going to be Ethan White, and then we're going to have Zipperer coming out the back end here, and this is going to be the counter. So watch the first step from Montrell. We're going to go this way, and now we're setting up here for the counter run. Looks like we're going to block in here. We're going to make sure we set this up. We're going to come in here. Ethan White is going to drive him out, and then hopefully Zipper, in the perfect world, right, would kick him out, and that gives Montrell the window that he wants. This doesn't work quite perfectly. Ideally, Zipper would have blown him out of here. The home run here, let me show you, is White locks up here like he does, right? Zipper then is going to kick him out and drive him out. And then you get Tarquin here sealing him. So ideally, you want to come right off this line and get in here, but you can also, obviously, come out here. That's what we got going on up here, right? So you can do either one of those things. It depends on what the defense elects to do, and that's why you see Montrell, very patient runner. That's why Napier likes him. Very patient runner. Take a look. He's waiting to see, do I go here or do I go here? What's the best option? And watch how he does here. Nice move, right? For sure, this linebacker thinks he's coming out the backside, but he doesn't. He waits patiently, hooks right around this excellent block here, use it through Diabate. Now he's going to sneak through this hole and maximize this play for a first down on 3rd and 5. That's really good, patient running, efficient footwork, and a nice job by the offensive line executing. 4th and 2 for Florida, a down and distance I think Florida's going to love all year long, especially with a guy like 15 back there. Obviously, Billy Napier, scared money don't make money. A chance for him to show that to Florida fans with Utah winning 7-0 here in the first. Now, if you're going to talk about just mathematical EV or expected value, you should go for this pretty much all the time. Down around the 20-yard line, 4th and 2, first quarter. It's almost an always go. A lot of coaches wouldn't do it. Billy's going to do it, and this is one reason why you can do it. We're not going to get a great fake here from Richardson. You'd like to see him hold the ball out here for a second and then spin out, but fine. This is going to work just as well. Florida's going to fake a counter, the same counter play we just talked about. We're just going to fake one the other way, and then Shorter is going to slip through here, and then you're going to have Montrell slip through here. Now, both of these players are open. You're not going to see it. Shorter's wide open for a touchdown, and the safe, easy throw here on 4th down and 2 is going to go to Montrell. This is the right decision by Richardson. The first look is going to be Montrell. You're going to read low to high on this play because it's 4th down and 2, low to high. If Montrell was covered up, he could have gone to Shorter for a touchdown, but there's no reason here to try to get a touchdown when you can take the easier play. Richardson, of course, also could have run for it. So this is a very good play call. If the play call you called on 4th and 2 leads to both of your primary receivers being wide open and your quarterback being able to run for it, you have called a good play. Richardson executes this well. There's Montrell. He's got one man to beat, and he almost, before stepping out of bounds right there, almost scores a touchdown for Florida. But the first 4th down conversion of Florida of the season, and a big one here early in the game against Utah. All right, 1st and goal for Florida. You know that Utah wants to make sure that Florida can't run the football. So Florida's going to put 3 receivers out here to the short side of the field, and they're going to know that Utah has to man them. Utah can't play 2v3. They got to man them. This is just window dressing, kind of, hey, look, let me get these guys out of the way, and we're going to try to run the football. Again, for the defense to get this right, if you have a guy like Richardson in the zone read here, here's the zone read. Let's talk about this. Richardson's going to read the defensive end. This defensive end is coming in hot. Now, there's 2 things going on here. Either he's doing the wrong thing and he's the edge defender and he's selling out to make a hero play, or they're going to run a scrape exchange where he's going to come in and Diabate is supposed to fill on the edge. Now, I can't tell you which one it is. All that matters for Florida fans is that they don't get it right. There is the fake handoff, really well executed. He thinks he's got himself a tackle. Oh, I am making a tackle. Look at this. I'm making a big tackle. Heck yeah. Oh, wait. Hold on. This guy has the ball, and he's walking in the end zone. Again, we've said before, Richardson is very, very good at the zone read fake. That is a high-quality fake. Everything about this is perfect. And on top of that, it helps when obviously Diabate traps himself down in here. Everything you want if you're Florida, everything you want and you need. Nice and easy. Gonna come right through, get that seal, and shut it down. Now, Florida, I want you to notice this. Florida does some interesting stuff with their offensive line in this game. In fact, they played a couple different combinations, and on this play near the goal line, you're going to have Ethan White here, normally the guard. Ethan White is going to play left tackle. Richard Gourage now slid over on the right, and Florida has an offset and unbalanced line. You can see here, 3 linemen on the right, 2 on the left, and a tight end. So Florida showed this on several plays where they're going to run that unbalanced line. And obviously worked well on this play, but more importantly here, again, this is the layup. This is going to happen all season long. If teams do not honor an edge with their edge defender, they're going to have a long day at the office. Great play, great first touchdown of the season for Florida and for Anthony Richardson. 3rd and 12 for Florida. This is a frustrating drive for them, getting pinned deep again with their special teams. I'm not going to cover that on this particular film breakdown, but obviously Florida had elected to run the ball out of the end zone. We talked about this in the podcast. That could be an exploitative strategy. If you're banking in week in and week out that most teams don't even have to ever cover kickoff, and Florida returns one every single week, every single game, then potentially Florida has an advantage as the year goes on. Of course, that's not going to be an advantage if you keep committing penalties. That's going to be a problem. And that plagued Florida a couple times in this game. On this particular play, 3rd and 12, Florida is going to elect to be very conservative here. Florida also is playing a different offensive line in this situation. You have Austin Barber in at right tackle and Richie Leonard in at left guard, getting some play. So again, Napier said he'd play young guys, and he did. He played a lot of young guys. I don't think he's just playing them to play them because he's promising them rotation spots. I don't think he coaches like that. I think he's trying to put on film what his players are doing, and so they can see obviously who the better player is in a game situation. Make sure you give these guys a chance to prove they're actually a 2 or a 3 or a 1 rather than just anointing it solely on practice. Little motion here, trying to get a kick out block with Zipperer. We're going to miss this on Henderson. This play wasn't going anywhere from the start anyway. Utah ready for it. Here comes their safety downhill, and that's going nowhere. Of course, I would like to see Florida be more aggressive in these situations. I think this drive was a weak one for them. It was their worst one of the game. Not every drive is going to go perfectly well, but Florida at this point in time, down 7, punting the ball to Utah. Things did not feel super great for Florida at this point in time. You were in the game, but the momentum certainly was swinging what felt like quite heavily towards Utah. After Florida's defense holds Utah to a field goal, Florida's now running with the same offensive line we talked about last time. Here's Tarquin at left tackle. Here is the aforementioned Barber at right tackle, and then Richie Leonard here at left guard. We still have Kingsley and Torrenson. So shuffling things up here. Now, this was not Florida's best line, but on this play, they're going to get a nice result. Going to bring a jet sweep here. Sanders coming across. Going to get a little play fake here. Come out the backside. Shorter's running a corner. Henderson is running an underneath route, and this is a nice play. So right here in his throw lane, here's Henderson. Shorter's covered up. He's looking at Shorter, knows he's covered up, knows he then needs to come down here to Henderson, which he does. Gives a little pump fake. By the way, pump faking is great if you're a quarterback. Pump fake as much as you possibly want to. It's one of the best things you can do. He gets now a better angle, clearing some space here for this throw, and puts this ball right on the money. Easy completion for Xavier Henderson, and a nice first down. 1st and 10 now. Utah going to be in zone defense again. Florida getting a little bit more aggressive as the game's going on. We're in the second quarter. I think we're starting to really feel out our offensive line. This is still a secondary unit. And take a look at the pass protection here. Got a nice push here. Nice clean pocket to throw from. All right, that's step 1. Step 2 is we have Ricky Parasol. Watch him set up his read. Watch Ricky here. One little quick step out. Again, you can't see it, but on the all-22, that quick step out is going to drive his defender this way. Now Richardson, he's got one defender here to clear. His eyes are over here. Very nicely moving the defense. Looks like he's going to come here, creating a window for Ricky. Now his head comes back to Ricky, but I want you to watch this defender. You're going to see on your screen in a second. And this is one thing about Richardson, again, that cannot be said enough, is he actually, although he's a blur to you, he actually is going to put his hand up here and thinking the ball is coming on this line. But in reality, here's the ball. It's coming on this line. So Richardson's eyes had him fooled. And when he threw the ball, he was quite shocked that it was this far over here, hitting an open Ricky for an easy first down on 1st and 10. So here's the entire play. I'll let you watch it here. Simple dig over the middle. Strike right on time. Doesn't break stride. Bingo. First down. Beautiful work. This is 1st and 10 for Florida, and this is a really nice play design. This is going to be a zone read where we have two choices here. The O-line on the left side here is going to block for Montrell. And on the right side, we're going to run these guys to the sideline and leave a hole here on the weak side for Anthony Richardson. Now, in this case, could Richardson have kept this? Yes, he definitely could have. He's got Diabate here. He could keep this. One thing we never know, and I think on this play this was a true read, by the way. I think this was a read. But one thing we never know, and I get asked this question a lot, is whether or not Richardson has the ability to make a zone read on every play. In general, the answer is no. You are generally not going to allow your quarterback to make that zone read every time because you don't want him carrying the ball 25 times a game. So oftentimes, although he will execute this same fake here, it's not actually a read. It's always going to be a handoff. Now, I can't tell you when that's going to be and when that's not going to be. Again, on this play, almost certainly he had the ability to read it, given how the offensive line split their blocks. But I wanted to point that out because I've gotten asked that question quite a bit, and that's something I just cannot know. But I can tell you that almost certainly, he does not actually have the ability to keep the ball every single time. And he's excellent at the zone read calls. So there were times in this game where he could have kept that ball and probably had a big play. I happen to believe he did not have the ability to make that zone read every single time. Again, it's just going to be a handoff that looks like that. You keep your quarterback fresh. You don't run him 25 times a game. You don't always give him the option. Now, as games get more high leverage, as you get into the fourth quarter, as things become more important, he's probably having the ability to make those calls all the time, but not always. Not always. Either way, nice play design here. Again, a lot of creative running options here from Florida. They put so much on film for teams' front sevens to have to prepare for. We talked about on the podcast that Utah likes to play a lot of man-to-man defense, and that could potentially hurt them in the event that Anthony Richardson was able to run. In this particular case, they're going to play essentially man-to-man defense, but the same thing is true if you choose to play two over the top, especially bracketing players. Now, Utah had a great feel for when Florida wanted to attack deep. This is a very common place for play-action teams to take a shot, so good defensive coordinators know this. And Utah literally was ready all game long for this. Florida's going to send Shorter on a post corner route. It's going to get easily absorbed by the safety who always stays over the top. Here we have a dropping corner who's going to wind up playing cover 3. He's really going to play the backside deep because they know Florida likes to run either deep overs or even here, these post corners. Instead, Ricky's going to come across the formation here really on this dig route, and Richardson's trying to hit Shorter. Again, if you gave Shorter an option route here on the post and you let him go either to this corner or that corner, this might be a touchdown this way. He's got to come back here into the oncoming defender. Motion man is Henderson. Now here's what happens. Let's look at the O-line. I want us all to appreciate this, right? Round of applause for the offensive line. This is back to our starting lineup. That is ridiculous. How many years have we not seen this? And that's a huge deal. Also, our running backs. Here's Montrell pushing him out of the pocket. Richardson climbs. Look at this climb. You cannot say enough of this footwork. Look at this footwork. Back foot hits, boom, drive up the pocket, climb, shoulder shimmy, reset, reset, reset. I don't have this throw. I don't have this throw. I don't have any throw. I have no one on this side of the field. Everyone here is gone. They've covered it again. That's frustrating, but you know what I do have? I have my offensive line bottling people up. They're gone. Look at this. This is over. This is absolutely over. They're just getting manhandled, right? Here's Kingsley. Look at Kingsley right here. Hey, get down. Get on the ground. Get pancaked. Get pancaked, right? Just get abused over here. I mean, get off of me. Boom, down. What a play. And out goes Richardson. And now, obviously, you're off to the races because nobody's there. And here is the cover 3 dropper. In this case, really just a bailer. They weren't playing cover 3, but he dropped on the sideline. And again, business decision here. He actually does try to make this tackle. It kind of gets a bad rap. In fact, he breaks down really well. Doesn't go for the fake, breaks down, and then just, it's a hard guy to tackle. Business decision there. I'm not going to get, knee in the face and easy touchdown for Richardson. But that is how a 45-yard touchdown looks super routine. Everything has to go right. One, you have to have the threat, obviously, of play action. Here's your pistol. There's your play action. Pull your linebackers up. You have the threat of this jet sweep coming across, of running out the weak side. You have the threat of vertical receivers. You have the threat of an underneath receiver. All those things are threats, and then you have your offensive line doing a bang-up job, and then you have your super athletic quarterback taking off. That is what good offense looks like. They can attack all parts of the field at all times, at any time, and it's hard to identify when they're going to do it. It's a bonus, obviously, to have a freak of an athlete at quarterback, a guy who's going to be the best player on the field in every single game he plays talent-wise. His job, of course, is to reach that ceiling, but that is fantastic work there by Richardson. And you can see this Utah fan here, hands on the head. Oh, come on, what is going on? Crossed arms, concerned looks. They recognize, they know it. Everyone in the stadium knew it. This dude is a baller, but it takes 10 other guys to make that play work, and those 10 other guys did a great job on that play. After a thrilling goal line stand, Florida takes over. It's now first down after a false start that really didn't matter. And what we're going to get here is a nice accidental block by Zipperer, but an even better ball fake by Richardson. Again, watch the DN here. There's your ball fake, and he is coming, and he's hungry, and he's like, oh, he doesn't have it. Zipperer is not really doing much other than supposed to get in his way here, which he does. Check, gets in his way. Makes it look like he's blocking for this play. And then he's supposed to be escaping out here as the safe option, but he escapes out, eats it, can't get back up. But that's really fine because we have what we want, which is Richardson rolling out, shorter, wide open, Xavier Henderson above him. Now, if we really wanted to get crazy, if Richardson pump fakes this ball to shorter and goes over the top, we've got a touchdown, but, you're on the 1 yard line. So instead, let's take the safe ball here, and you can see all 3 defenders peeled off as soon as they saw him look at shorter. So perhaps we'll run the same play and go for the glory at some point this season. Take a look at that. Either way, great job again. Great execution on the 1 yard line. Way to get immediate breathing room and get out of a bad situation for a first down. It's now the third quarter, so obviously it's time for Florida to display something new in the run game. We just showed it on the previous play, but we're on the goal line. Now it's going to be a little bit different here on our own 15 or so, and this is going to be what's called the split zone. So again, zone blocking, want to get everybody going one way, except we're going to send our tight end or H back, and we're going to have him execute a backside block, and that's going to give us the ability to attack, again, the non-play side. Why is this so effective? It's so effective because all of these guys in the box are thinking if the linemen go this way, this is a zone run this way. So are the linebackers. Again, here comes our boy, Diabate, who decides, oh yeah, I know where this is going. It's going right there. I'm coming in hard. And then here's another linebacker who's actually waiting to see what happens, which, again, this is a better play. Regardless, what's happening here is Florida is going to run a really nice little split zone, right? Beautiful. Look at this blocking. Look at Zipperer. Come over here and clean this out. Again, why are they blasting their defensive end right through to Richardson every time? Because they do not want him to be coming out the backside. They're getting sick of that. That just happened on the previous play. So they're going to say, forget it. Void your responsibility on this edge and go over here. And we're comfortable with that because all the zone blockers are going this way. So you don't need to protect this side, except Florida one-ups that and says, no problem, we got you. And here comes Etienne, who has a nasty cut. There's one nasty cut and explosion out of the pocket. And now we're going to get some really slipperiness right here Take a look here as he is stopping his momentum to come to the inside. Etienne then goes outside. He's going to fall down and touch nothing. And then this guy is going to get just absolutely owned right here. It looks like Etienne head fake, body leaning this way, right? Whoop! He's gone out of the picture. And then one more, he's not going to make the tackle, and we're heading up the sideline. Etienne showing great elusiveness, great burst, great recognition. Obviously a lot like his big brother. So Trevor acquitting himself nicely here, very nicely to Florida. First game as a freshman, getting a nice carry there and a really nice game. One of the highlight runs of the game as far as a running back was concerned. 2nd and 10 here. Utah again is going to play zone. They're going to drop into a cover 3. Cover 3 here. We're going to bail. We're going to go to the middle, and then we're going to play underneath. And this is well covered by Utah, but this is a great throw by Richardson. Opens up to the right side, knows he wants to work this 3-on-3 advantage, potentially 3-on-2. Take your clear out receiver there. Ricky's going to take the corner, who's dropping. And then really, again, you give your check down, which is going to be a nothing play on 2nd and 10. And then you have the route you need, which is right here. And look at the timing of this, and look at where Richardson's body is. I want you to watch this closely. He is squared up almost here, right? Look at this. Squared up almost there, but then he's going to deliver here. And again, this corner thinks for sure that ball's going there. Watch his body language. He thinks for sure it's going there, but that ball is not going there. It's going right here on a rope. Small window, absolute laser in there. Big pickup on 2nd down and 10 to make it a manageable 3rd down. These are the little things that Richardson does really well. Back foot hits. He drives forward. He's still driving forward. He's going to use his eyes and his helmet to fool the defense to create the window he needs. Ball's on time, ball's where it needs to be. High level quarterbacking. 3rd and 3, again for Florida. So much success on 3rd and short, and the reason is this is hard to defend. Florida's going to start in one formation, then they're going to motion in. A lot for the defense to prepare for. And they're going to give them the split zone look again. Here comes your jet sweep, which Florida has handed off before. Again, if you're this linebacker, you have to shuffle a little bit, and you're responsible for this sweep if it comes this way. He's going to have to hold. This sweep doesn't come now. We've got zone blocking coming in here. We've got a split zone. Split zone there with Xanders coming across the formation to get a block there. He's going to chip out just like on the goal line play. Quick chip out. Here's Etienne, who got that same play earlier. Ball's not handed off to him. We're coming out the backside with Richardson. We've got a short option here. And then we had Shorter coming over the top from this spot to where he is right now for a crucial 3rd down and 3 completion. Really, really nice play. Again, a lot of stuff to defend. Multiple threats. 1st and 10 now. Florida getting more aggressive as this game goes on, especially in the passing game. They're going to empty it out again. Empty set. The bottom of your screen is Etienne, which you can't see. So he's down here on the bottom of your screen. They're going to run a cover 3. Utah's running cover 3. Corner's going to drop. Safety's going to sit high middle. Corner's going to drop. Florida's not going to send 4 verticals, my favorite cover 3 beater. But they are going to send 3, and they're going to put Etienne on this deep stop over here with Xanders running right in here. And that is going to be really where the ball goes and could go or should go. There's two great options here. Unfortunately, Richardson's just going to miss this throw. So let's look here. Opens up. Eyes read here. Doesn't like that. Eyes now come here, right? That's your number 2 receiver. Doesn't like that. Work across the seam now. So we go 1, we go 2, work across the seam to your seam route, which he's reading to, and he likes it. He likes it, and he sees it, and he's throwing it. He has what he wants. Unfortunately, this ball gets thrown behind him. Now, there's 2 things going on here. 1, this ball needs to be here, and it's good. 2, Xanders clears the defense. This is a zone. He's not running all out. He also could just sit. So I'm going to put this on Richardson because he had a window to the inside to throw this football, but also it very well could be on Xanders, because if Xanders just sits in the soft spot here, that is actually a perfect football. So hard to know who's wrong here, hard to know who's wrong, but on film, as soon as he clears this linebacker, he does have a throw window. He could have put it right in here. That's perfectly fine. So regardless, we don't know. It's a missed opportunity. Also here at the bottom of your screen is a completely unguarded Etienne. So he's sitting down here at a diagonal, completely unguarded. So we effectively 2-on-1 that corner cover 3 dropper, which is what you want. And again, for Richardson, this is the right throw. Why? Because you're going to read your progression here. 1, 2, 3. And as soon as you see an open guy, you stick it. And he was wide open. All this grass in here, plenty of place to put this football. You're not going to go to number 4 over here because you don't need to. Right? Had the corner been closer here, then he goes to number 4 and he hits Etienne. So right read, right situation, great pocket presence, good footwork, just delivers what is either a bad ball there or, again, a play where Xanders should sit down. Xanders converted from defensive end, obviously not really super comfortable at the tight end spot as a receiver. Florida's sorely lacking at tight end. This offense is going to be that much better when we have a tight end, or especially a couple of pass-catching tight ends that impose fear into defenses. So we're going to have to work that out. But as far as everything went here, everything was fine, minus the throw itself and or the sitting down in the zone. 3rd and 11 here for Florida. Florida obviously has been good on these third downs. Utah going to back off, looking like they're going to show cover 2. And Florida, in this case, for one of the only times of the game, is not going to get the line protection they want. Now, the line itself is going to do work here. These 3 guys are erased. They're gone. Utah playing 7 in pass coverage, playing zone. Florida's been eating them up here. And we're just, unfortunately, from Naquan Wright, going to get the chip here that we do not want. This chip is going to throw Utah right into, in this case, it's Diabate. Again, he's been on this film review a lot. But it's going to put Diabate right into the pocket. It's going to move Richardson off his spot. You do not want your quarterback to have to move off his spot. You especially don't want him to move off the spot when really the only open wide receiver on this play, on the all-22, is going to be Zipperer right here. He is the open one. He's the one. He's really going to be, this is your check down. He'd come out as a check down, but this is your open receiver. Now, this linebacker's running with him. In a world where this doesn't happen, once you take a look at this, he is running with him, but he is beat. And these guys are going to fall back off enough on your screen that if we complete this pass, we're getting the first down. I have no doubt that Richardson is probably going to get to that read. The problem is, as he's taking his first read, finishes his first read, now he's going to come around to his second read, he's going to see this white helmet flash right into his pocket area. That is where he wants to step up to. You've seen this a lot. Back foot hits. Where's your next step as a quarterback? Forward. I can't step forward. That's into me. And now he's going to escape the right way, which is this way. You want to escape against the momentum of your defender. If he goes this way, Diabate's coming into him. He has to now escape out this way, which he does, and that works. See, that's why he clears Diabate. That works. But now, this throw is no longer feasible. You're never going to square your shoulders and throw late all the way across the field like that. That's a no-go. You can't do that. That's out. So now he's just trying to make a play. It's 3rd and 11, trying to make a play because you're Richardson. You're going to try that. He tries to fit in a ball that, I mean, there's really no space here, right? This is going to be an impossible pass. He actually almost does it. He almost hits shorter here. He's not off by much, and that's got to be a layup pick by Utah on 3rd and 11. Do I hate this? No. Do I love it? No. It's somewhere in between, and here's the reason why. If I'm coaching Richardson, one thing is you want him to be smart with the ball. Hey, Richardson, look, this is death. We're dead. We got to live to fight another down. We're going to punt and pin him deep. That's the proper play. Let's start with that. But secondarily, some of the magic of a guy like Richardson is that he can make plays, right? It's sort of like Pat Mahomes. You do not want to have a guy who has an ability to make sensational plays always be thinking the conservative solution or conservative answer. You want him to make plays. This one, again, this is too much. This is too much to ask. This ball can never be thrown. So again, the reason I don't hate it is he's trying to make a play. I love that about you, Richardson. I want you to make plays. You have the green light. But when you are flowing against your body, it's 3rd and 11. We're at the middle of the field. This is not looking like it's even a remote chance of that being completed. Just run out of bounds right here. Just go ahead, run out of bounds. Tuck it. Do whatever you got to do. Don't open yourself up either like this because now you're exposing yourself to an injury hit. That's not going to be good. Just eat it. We're going to punt, right? Life goes on. Don't throw a pick there because that is too high risk, too high reward. But again, I don't hate it because a lot of what he did in this game was make plays. You don't want him to be thinking, oh, there's nothing here. I'm just going to run out of bounds. So there's a finesse line there for that. But in this particular case, of course, not the right decision. This is an absolutely sensational pass by Richardson here on 2nd down and 10. Again, a long scenario, bad first down, incomplete pass. Here comes our orbit motion. Let's always watch what the line's doing. Orbit motion, where this is going to be a zone, right? Looks like a zone run. We're going to fake that, hold the linebackers for a second. And then our orbit always becomes, this is why this is nice. This seems like nothing, but this always becomes your check down. And with that check down, you're always having a defender that has to get pulled over to guard it. If he doesn't, you always have this as a failsafe. But in this case, off your screen, and I wish it wasn't off your screen. And one more time, I want to watch Richardson's shoulders. Just watch what he does here. Look at how he moves. Look at Diabate. Look at these defenders. Look at where they're going. His shoulders move them away from where he's actually going. And Diabate's turning around because it looks like this ball's going this way. Right? That is fantastic stuff. And now here is Ricky. You can see as a blur, he's beat his man, he's coming back to the ball. But the beautiful thing about this was Richardson threw this ball when Ricky was here. So top of his break, the defender is actually pretty much equal with Ricky, which means Richardson knows he's going to beat him back to the ball. He lets that ball go as soon as he turns around to make this move. And that is excellent timing. I mean, that is perfect. And bingo, look at this. I mean, that defender is right there. That is great defense on a 15-yard comeback route. I mean, you really can't play much better defense than that unless you're underneath the route. It's really, really good stuff. And his reward is a completed pass against him. That is great, great stuff. It's great to see Ricky and A-Rich on the same page so quickly here in Florida uniforms. That's a really, really nice play. All right, 3rd and 2 from Florida. Again, Florida's been very, very good on 3rd down. They're coming out again with this bunch set here. Why the bunch? Well, really, this is just to get 3 guys out of the way, right? Now, again, we can run this. Like we talked about earlier, look, 3rd and 2 down the road, if a team's going to play a single high safety who's basically in the box, and they're going to let you run 3-on-3, you've got to be able to make them pay, especially if your offensive line is doing what Florida's offensive line did. You can make them pay. But in this game plan, it's 14-19. Florida's down. We've been successful with running the football. It's week 1 of your install. Let's instead go to another split zone look. Split zone look here. Zone coming this way. Split zone looking this way. Florida has put all of these plays now on film against the defense. They've all seen it. And now we're going to make this simple handoff, and then we're going to watch Torrance do work. It's why he's the highest rated lineman right now in Florida. Take a look here. Turn the shoulders. Get him out of the way. Tarkin is going to lose his run block. He wants to be pushing him further out of the hole. He's going to lose the run block, but Torrance has such an incredible seal here. I mean, they're just gone. Look at Kingsley. Look at Torrance. Turn the shoulders. Create this wall. Create this hole. That even though Tarquin loses contact here and actually almost loses the play, he rights the ship. There goes Montrell squeezing out, and we have ourselves a huge gain on 3rd and 2 with just a simple split zone run. And you cannot underestimate the power of the offensive line's effectiveness. What a game they had. If you were a fan of the Denver Broncos in the 90s, you saw Mike Shanahan and Terrell Davis run a whole lot of wide zone, and a lot of that was based upon the cutback. Now, of course, Billy Napier, as I've described, is Kyle Shanahan of the 49ers. It's the 49ers light. We're not going to do stuff that's as complicated as what they do, but it is certainly a simplified version that's very effective, especially in college football. And here we go. We're going to set up our zone, our wide zone out here. Setting up out here, we're going to get blocks. We're going to threaten the edge. Looks like we're going to come out here with Montrell and get the entire defense flowing this way. Here's your unblocked man who's in conflict. He's been staying with Richardson because Richardson is very dangerous. If this quarterback is not as dangerous, he can make a more aggressive read and come down, but he can't. And this is one of my favorite plays of the whole game because this is why running wide zone is so effective. And look at Florida's offensive line. Rip technique here. We're going to push him to the middle. Rip technique here. Create the lane. And we're running everyone else out. Run them out, run them out, run them out, run them out. I mean, this is perfection. Florida's offensive line coaches had to have so much fun watching film. They weren't here last year. But regardless, this is what it's like to watch an offensive line be a unit, right? And take a look what we get. So Montrell's trying to come out here, but the cutback lane is one of the best things in a wide zone scheme, and he sees it. He sees the glory. It's probably your favorite run as a running back. Put your foot in the ground. Take the cutback lane. Torrance gives you just one extra little shove there for good measure, and you are out the backside. Again, everybody was going this way because that's where the play was going, and it's over. Forget it. Walk in the end zone. How nice is it to see Florida scoring a rushing touchdown of that magnitude from that spot on the field with that kind of ease. Again, what a job by the O-line. Great vision there by Montrell. It's a reason why they trust him so much. He has a really good feel for running behind the zone, spending a whole year with Napier in Louisiana. Florida now going to go for 2. I like this at this stage of the game. A lot of coaches would have just kicked the extra point, but again, the expected value of going for 2 here, which paid dividends in this game, was high. Florida goes for it. Right time, right situation. I like this. Utah calls this play perfectly. If you're the DC for Utah, you got everything you wanted. Florida's not going to have their tight end or H-back here chip block at all. It's going to be zipper or just going out, and Utah correctly commits 2 players to Richardson. Make sure they have the outside bottle up if they want to go to Henderson, and they are in business. Everything they want. No one is open. Nothing is here. Richardson is dead, and this is our boy Diabate, transferred from Florida, making mistakes. And he's dead. This is great technique by Diabate. Right here, this is great. Great. You're broken down. You've got him squared up. He's dead. Way to break down. You're an athlete. He's an athlete. Break down. Great. Terrible. What have we done? What have we done, Diabate? No. Rule number 1 for a defensive lineman, defensive end, linebacker, safety, corner, anyone pressuring the quarterback is do not leave your feet for any reason going for a pump fake. Don't do it. The pump fake doesn't matter. You can't do anything about the pump fake. This does not matter to you. Don't pay attention to it. Watch the hips and tackle. Watch the hips. I don't care. Now, if you're going to stay on your feet, you can watch the hips if you're here and put your arms up and keep coming at him. That's fine. But when you're this close, you have one job and one job only. Make the tackle. Thankfully, Diabate is going to fall for some eye candy. And again, if you're a quarterback, the pump fake is your friend. The pump fake is the emergency tool that you can use to save yourself from bad situations. The best quarterbacks historically have always done this. There's Richardson, pump fake. Diabate goes for the ball rather than the tackle. And so does this guy. I'm also going to go for the ball. Whoop. And then, I've got one guy rolling around like he's on fire. Here's Diabate, right? He's on fire right now. It's hot. It's on fire. You got to stop, drop, and roll. Stop, drop, and roll. I got to get out of there. I'm hot. And then this dude is dead. He's gone, right? Bye. And Richardson now says, I have escaped. I'm David Blaine. And I'm going to throw this pass to Frazier's, who honestly caps this play perfectly. Like, this is what you want to do. If your quarterback just ate up 2 guys 2-on-1, you just want to catch this ball calmly and just tuck it. Like, yeah, that's cool. Like, I didn't really do much. I kind of just stood here. He also literally threw it right to me. I mean, look at this. I didn't even move. Like, he escapes 2 dudes. He has the presence of mind to say, I'm on the run. And, yep, I don't have to move. I'm chilling. My quarterback's that good. I'm literally just chilling. We're up 3. The crowd's going crazy. And there we go. Jump man. Yeah, I mean, that's legit. Right? That is legit. Love it. This play, perhaps one of the most important of the game that you may not even remember. But let's give Xavier Henderson some love. He had a really nice game. They're going to circle Ricky. However, this ball is going to Xavier. And this is not a great play call. But Xavier is going to bail out Billy Napier here with some heroics of his own. Florida's going to again try this wide screen that Utah was all over. They were all over this play. Not a good call here. I'm sure Napier wants this back. This play is dead. It's perfect defense. Gone. We're dead. Except Henderson says it is not dead. I'm going to make a move. I'm going to beat the guy that's got me. Ricky's going to get a block, maybe a little hold here. Who knows? Either way. And then I'm going to split this guy. Oh, I'm just going to eke out this first down. That play right there, it's 4 yards, right? 5 yards. You may have missed it. You may have forgotten about it. But this is 3rd down and 4 with 5 minutes left on our own 35-yard line. If he makes this tackle here, we're stuck on the 30. It's 4th down and 4 or 5. The way Utah was running the football may have been checkmate. Instead, Xavier Henderson goes hero mode. Gets a first down. Great job. 3rd and 1 now for Florida. Again, Florida, this is just such a hard team to defend in 3rd and short. What do you do with them? And they haven't even thrown in play action bomb as really an option yet, right? Not really. Not often. Once or twice. But that's going to happen, especially as you put this on film more and more. They have to come down and honor these guys. They're going to play man. They're playing man at the top of the screen. They have to do it. They have no choice. Even though it's 3rd and 1, you got to account for these guys out here. And we are going to run split zone again, right? By now, you're becoming an expert at this. Offensive line is coming this way. Play side looks like it's this way, but that's not where the play is going. We're going to bring Zipper across. We know we're afraid of Richardson. We're going to make sure our defensive end does not allow Richardson to escape out the backside, take him away. Great. We're going to take you away with Zipper, and we are now still going to go to the weak side. And there it is. And I mean, nobody is there. Again, I mentioned this on the podcast. Who is this? If you had to guess who is that, you would guess Diabate. And you would be right. And where are his eyes? Who even knows? What is he doing? Right? Here's your middle linebacker. He's doing the right thing. He's keeping his head up. He's IDing the play. He's waiting. He's shuffling, and then he's going to come out. But if that's Diabate, then he's here, and this is a 2-yard gain. Instead, Etienne is off to the races. The middle linebacker looks bad. He's got to make a dive. He misses, right? And that's all because one linebacker goes rogue. He misses, and then here comes the safety. And almost a touchdown becomes certain disaster. Certain disaster. Surely we're in trouble. And Trevor falls on the football. And a quick arm smack because he knows that was not good. Boy, oh boy, could that have changed the football game. Thankfully, it does not. But again, phenomenal blocking by the O-line, taking advantage of the fact that Diabate was just totally susceptible to any kind of counter run, which we saw all last year. Good work by the coaches. Great play there. Nice run by Etienne. He's very dangerous every time he touched the ball. Had the highest yards per carry for Florida by far in that game. All right, 3rd and 5, 2:45 left. Utah shows cover 0. Cover 0. There's no safety here. Man. There is no safety. Why? Because obviously they're sick of Florida running all over them. Now, I respect this. This is the right call from Utah. Hey, challenge Florida. You pass the ball on us against our man defense, and we're going to play no safety because we just think you want to run. Now, Billy is going to opt for the very conservative play here. Do I like this? You better believe I don't like this. When you see cover 0, you better not be doing this. Now, we're going to pick up, 2 yards here, set up a shorter 4th down. Do I like a shorter 4th down? Yes. But look, here's the reality. If a team's going to play cover 0 against you here, and you're Florida, and you have superior, in theory, athletes, you better find a way to get one of these guys open. It's cover 0. This should be a touchdown. Run your favorite route. Run your favorite play. Run your favorite pick play. Run whatever you want. They have no chance here of stopping you. In theory, you can only stop yourself, especially when your O-line is blocking as well as it's blocking. You're going to have all day. We opt for the safest play possible to set up a 4th down play, which, of course, Napier likes. And then we make a critical mistake, I covered in the podcast, in my opinion, time-wise, by letting this clock run all the way down until we get to 4th down, and that's a critical mistake because you have to go for the 4th down anyway. If you don't get it, you still want to have all 3 of your timeouts so that you can stop Utah and get the ball back. By bleeding all of the clock off, then calling timeout, you bet the farm you'd get the 1st down then. And of course, the benefit you get there is you've bled more time off, so Utah has less time theoretically, but you cannot make that call. Again, if you look at the EV of such a move, of burning a timeout that allows you to essentially get the ball back, it is a very negative EV move. You have to run the 4th down play either way. Just run it. Didn't do it. We got away with that one. Not smart. I know Billy's a huge analytics guy, so I fully expect him, of course, to get with his staff and check that and say, hey, next time, we got away with this one here. But that's not a long-term winning move, right? It's not a long-term winning move. It just is not, mathematically speaking. It works out, and we're going to look at the 4th down that made it work out here next. Now, this play is really interesting because on one hand, Florida wins, and on the other hand, Florida's route combination loses. They win because Utah completely and incorrectly guesses that the play is coming over here. And in fact, they're going to waste a safety in their corner over here, wasted. And I imagine they thought this bootleg was coming, which had happened a lot from Florida, especially at this distance, and they guessed wrong. Instead, Florida also makes a mistake here, right? This is a wrong exchange. No one's here. And that does affect the play. If you get a better fake handoff here, and I'm not sure whether this is Montrell or Richardson's fault, but regardless, you get a better fake handoff here. These linebackers, these linebackers are going to pull up more, right? They're going to pull up more. Again, better fake handoff. Linebackers are going to pull up more. Instead, they quickly recognize this ball did not go here, and it's a pass. Now, here's where Florida wishes they didn't run the routes that they ran. So what we have here is Zipperer is going to run this sort of mesh crosser with Shorter, except this linebacker is playing man on Zipperer. He was responsible for the run play, so a better fake handoff probably sucks him up more. But all Zipperer has to do here is literally run this route. A corner route, even a go route, is an absolute walk-in touchdown. Layup touchdown. Game over, score, right? Well, not game over, but you know what I mean. Instead, he actually runs himself, take a look, into the defense. He's able to turn around, and now he is not really open. And on top of that, we have Shorter coming across, bringing his trail defender with him. They don't mesh each other at all. And now Utah actually switches this. It's going to go off your screen. They switch this where he continues to run with Shorter and takes that away. And number 8 bails off and takes Zipper. And nobody is open. There's nowhere to go with this football. It did not work. Now, it would have worked very easily had you just run. And, Billy could have known this, but had you just run Zipper here or here, that's good. And on top of that, you can run a cross route here. Like in the NFL, a man-to-man, the most popular man-to-man route to run is basically a route that looks like this. It's a crosser man-to-man, but it looks like this. You're going to come here, you're going to come here, and then you're going to basically, rather than just cross like this, you're going to stem up for a step. So you're going to come across, stem up for 1 or 2 steps to make it look like you're going vertical, and you just flatten that out. And essentially, you throw the ball right here, and it's virtually unstoppable. If you have a wiggly slot receiver, if you have a matchup that you like, you're going to win. We actually get Shorter on a linebacker here. This is a matchup we should win. This ball is going to go to Shorter. That's kind of the play we're running here. He does run that route. He's going to run that route here. The problem is the traffic. There he goes. Watch. Little step up. And now he's going to flatten it right after this. But this is just missed. This window is missed. The mesh is missed. The mesh is missed. He's covered up. On top of that here, let's look at the O-line. Right? So we're going to get Tarquin does a nice kick out. Take a look at Montrell. I want you to watch this. Right? They get through. Guraj can't pick this up, but Montrell can. Great pickup. This is phenomenal. We almost never saw that. And then you're locked up here. This is fantastic. This play right here doesn't happen if it's not for that. And that happened all day long. Could not be more encouraged. But again, for Florida, this play call doesn't work, despite the fact that Utah doesn't get it right. And so that's really unfortunate. And, if you don't have a mobile quarterback here, maybe you lose the game and you kick yourself forever because you had an easy touchdown had you called a better route. It's not there. So either way, here comes Richardson. He's going to escape. And there we go. Also my favorite. Again, use the pump fake, right? We're across line of scrimmage here. Cross line of scrimmage, but I'm going to pump fake this, and this guy's going to go flying because why not? There you go. Out of bounds. Now, in this case, he shouldn't run out of bounds. This is something they're going to coach him up on. With 1:53 left, Florida had been methodically running the clock off because they didn't want Utah to get it back. So again, Florida makes a mistake. First of all, they let 30 seconds go off the clock. Then they call timeout. Now we only have 2 left. If this doesn't work, we're probably going to lose. Secondarily, Richardson now actually runs, and he has it. Just fall down right here. If he falls down right here, at the first down mark, the clock resets. It'll run. Utah has to use the timeout. Instead, we don't do that. We run out of bounds. Now, it's exciting we picked it up. But again, tactically, not perfect. Things they can clean up there, things they will clean up there. It's what Napier pays attention to. But all in all here, good play call. We had Utah fooled, except wrong routes. So therefore, bad play call, but you got 15 on your side. He can make things happen. Huge first down. Florida's 2 for 2 on 4th downs at crucial times, especially this one. All right, 1st and 10 for Florida. I love this call by Utah. If you're Utah right now, you also have been driving on Florida. Why not go back into cover 0 again? Cover 0 again, right? Now here's Henderson, a guy who's been getting open all game long. And here's Shorter with a huge cushion. And here's Utah saying, pass it, go ahead, I dare you. You will not do it. You won't do it. And Florida's going to oblige them and not do it. They're going to play this really safe. Here's Richardson. And unfortunately for him, he goes out of bounds. And again, this is not smart. And I'm just going to keep hammering on this. If you're going to take this kind of play from Florida, if you're going to run this right here, down 4, you can run this, but you can't be going out of bounds. Florida is trying to run the clock out, and he goes out of bounds. So things Florida will clean up. Now, Xavier here is like Hold on. Let me go back to that. Sorry. There we go. Let's get back to that. Let's go the other way. Maybe this way. There we go. Xavier here. Look at him. Please. Anthony, look at me. Come on, man. Hey, look at me. Look at me. I'm hungry. You need to feed me because this guy cannot cover me and I have no safety. Just feed me. There's 151 left. Feed me. And again, what I'm going to say here is, I'm going to say this, if we're going to run out of bounds, then you might as well feed him. If you want to try to bleed clock and you're going to finesse it, I like that. I don't want Utah to have the ball back either. If I'm playing Madden, I want to drain this clock down to like 5 seconds left, right? I want to finesse this thing. I like that strategy, but you cannot go out of bounds here. Can't go out of bounds there. That's counter what you want to do. So now we head to second down. All right, second down. Clock is stopped as you see. Utah with all 3 of their timeouts left. Florida now, 2nd and 6. Going to run again. Take a look what we get. A little split zone action. By now you're going to recognize this in real time on Saturday against Kentucky, which is really fun. The more you know, the better it is to watch football. Here comes our split zone. And take a look at what we have. And this is just beautiful. I mean, this is a wall of domination. Just get out of the way. Wall of domination. And on top of that, it's even better because look at what you can do with this play. Richardson can keep this, right? Or he can hand to Montrell. And there's only 2 defenders here, and we got a blocker coming. So we're 3-on-2. Phenomenal. We've just taken all the rest of these guys out of the play. We're playing 3-on-2 football, taking a complicated game, making it simple. And here comes Montrell. This is why he's really, really good. Again, a lot of running backs, especially power running backs, hit the hole. Just hit the hole and take it. Montrell, zone running back. I'm going to wait for my block. Here comes Zipperer. Ooh, even better than this. I've got him committed now. He's diving in. Shuffle step, get out. Shuffle step, get out. Off to the races. Chuck the ball. Get down, get down. Now he does try to get down. So Montrell here is trying to get down. I like this. I respect this. This is unlucky. It's also a great job by Utah's tackler, who I want to say is trying to take him and keep him up to get him out of bounds. This is really good football. This is game 1 in college football, and you're seeing some good stuff between these 2 guys here, right? High-level stuff. Utah wins this battle. He's not in bounds. That's unfortunate, but on this play, I'll live with that, right? That's a great run. It's a big first down. He tried to stay down. You can't always do it. Really, really good stuff there. However, minute 37 left. Florida now really threatening to score in this game. Their only enemy is the clock being against them and that it's going to give Utah too much time. All right, 2nd and goal. We just saw that split zone earlier, and now here it comes again. Split zone. We got everything going this way, except this time a little of a wrinkle here. We've got our receivers on this side, right? Sometimes you run this the other way. Receivers here. Here comes our tight end or our H-back to make a block. Again, everyone, look at everyone. Everyone is bottled up in here. They think that Montrell's going to get this, except A-Rich has it. Richardson has this out the backside. And here we go. There's Diabate watching, because again, let's watch Diabate. He's your outside linebacker. He needs to be guarding this area of the field. He's going to slide, as he has done at Florida so many times, way too far over here. He can't even help make this play. This play goes over here in the play side B gap, or the weak side B gap, since Florida's going this way. He can't make that play anyway, but he's going to slide way over here, lose his spatial relationship, be holding hands with his middle linebacker as opposed to being here where he should be, where he could actually make a play, and now this play is over. He walks in the end zone, touchdown. There's 1:25 left. Florida's in business, taking the lead, which would be for good, because obviously Florida is going to wind up getting this on the very next play. The victory formation. Here it is. Sweet. Lorenzo Lingard got 1 snap in this game, which is right here. I hope to see him at some point in time in the future, see what he can do, but he's in here for the victory formation. Florida is going to get the dubs. Big win. Obviously, there's Bernie. We'll talk about him on the defensive side. Coming up with a huge play there at the end. What a win it was for Florida, 29-26. I certainly hope that you enjoyed this film breakdown. This will be the most immersive one of the season. I wanted to show you a variety of plays so that you really had a chance to see what Napier's doing here. And we'll chronicle how this goes on throughout the season, but I'll shrink this stuff down, show you the most impactful plays and anything new that develops. But hopefully you can really take away how far the offensive line has come from last year, how much they've progressed, and what a significant role they played in this win. Obviously, the most valuable player is going to be Richardson. That's a no-brainer. But the offensive line was a true hero in this game. Phenomenal work for week 1. I look forward to chronicling what happens with Florida versus Kentucky, and I'll be back each and every week throughout the season now bringing you these film breakdowns. I certainly hope you enjoy them. Until next time, I'm James from the Gator Nation Football Podcast.